It is now 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call the Environmental Commission meeting to order. We're going to kind of go through a roll call. We'll start down over there with you, Michael.
Mike Walton, present.
Virginia Schmidt, present.
Jonah, present.
Shantanu Bai, present.
Sue Metzel, present.
Karen Labby, present.
Patrick Jeffers, present.
Perfect, thank you guys. Next up, we move into the approval of the minutes. Were there any changes that need to be made from the minutes of last month?
I have one change on the Garden Club event. It's March 16th, not March 18th.
Okay. I'd make a motion to change the Garden Club event from March 16th, not March 18th. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. All right, so the motion was made by, Jonah, seconded by Michael, yes, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, the minutes have been approved. We now move on to presentations. There are no scheduled presentations. And so we then move into audience participation. Do we have any audience participation? All right, Mitch, you could come on up.
Am I already on the agenda though?
Well, we have our discussion, but if you'd like to speak on yours, this is your time, okay?
About my proposal?
About your proposal, yes. This would be your time to do so. And we're going to try to keep it to 5 minutes, okay?
It'll be less than 5 minutes. So, my name is Mitchell Edgecombe. I live in 57 Chilton Drive, but you all know that. So, I have some additional information about my bag waste reduction proposal that was not on the draft ordinance that I presented to Twinsburg. So just to put this out here, because it'll clear up a little bit more, it'll clear up a little bit more information about it, about the impacts of it. So it's going to be about the hidden costs of checkout bags that retailers stock. So the average retailer in the United States spends around 3 cents per plastic bag when they stock them, about 10 cents per paper bag. So paper is much more expensive. And the average cost of a reusable bag for a retailer to stock is 17.5 cents. So, that being said, according to a study conducted on consumers in the Cleveland area, the average resident owns around 6 reusable bags. So, the average selling cost of a reusable bag, which is how much a retailer sells that bag for, is 99 cents. They get more money, obviously, because they're not going to sell it for less than 25 cents. So, let me pull up my notes here. And also, that being said, the average reusable bag lasts around 3 years. That's on an average. They can last longer than that, or they can sometimes last less than that. If handles tear, that happens. So, I've compiled the hidden costs of each bag, given all these factors that play into how much these bags cost, and how much they sell for. It's on the market around the annual hidden cost of a plastic bag, because the United States per person, around 365 plastic bags are used per year per person. And 3 reusable bags per person because they last for 3 years. So disregard all of that, but that's the information that piles up to it. If you want to know the details, it's a little confusing. The hidden cost of a plastic bag per year, the cost of plastic bags, is around $10.95 for a retailer, which means these hidden costs impact the sale of other products at a grocery store or the operations of a business. And the hidden cost of reusable bags on average is around $5.94. So taking account into the hidden costs of checkout bags, reusable bags in the long term are much cheaper for retailers to stock instead of the single-use bags. And I didn't even put paper bags in these statistics because paper bags are just ridiculously more expensive. They're already like triple the cost of a plastic bag on average. So that being said, the ordinance that I proposed, which is to phase out the use of single-use shopping bags, will have a positive impact on the long term for businesses. It is a new change, so there will be a lot of fear surrounding it because it's a new change, obviously. Businesses aren't going to be too open to it right away, but in the long term, there will be cost savings overall for it. And this does not even take into account the social costs of plastic pollution, which are a result of increased reliance on single-use shopping bags. The United States spends around, let me get my notes, $54 trillion annually on average managing the effects of plastic pollution. and this includes losses from industries such as fishing and tourism due to plastic pollution. So given that we spend around $54 trillion managing the effects of plastic pollution, the majority of which is composed of film materials such as plastic bags, it is even more expensive to continue relying on single-use shopping bags. And again, paper bags are ridiculously expensive, so I don't count them. So that is some final details and more information I'd like to put out there to clear the air and hopefully provide a little bit more support for reusable bags and their use in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. And so we will be discussing that again during our unfinished business section later on in the agenda. Did you want to go ahead and come on up now and so we could kind of go back and forth and talk?
Yeah, because my students are in the process of, I'm trying to rely on them to come up with the stations. I already have stations
Okay.
we've used in the
Right.
Excuse me, could you state your name for
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
for the minutes? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Cindy Kirk. I'm an environmental science teacher at the high school.
Thank you.
So when I say my kids, my students, they're 100% of them that I'm bringing on board with me with this. So I showed you the invasive
Yes.
versus native board. We always do a seed planting in the toilet paper tubes. In the past, we've done the pine cone bird seed feeders. I do a choose this, not that station, which ties in with yours, like choose this, choose a reusable bag, not a plastic bag. And then we usually have some sort of craft for the kids to do. I do have a bunch of milkweed seeds that I'm thinking about trying to have my kids start them, but I don't know if they're stratified, but if they'll be grown by then to hand out milkweed.
Seedlings, yeah.
So, and then I have a recycle sort station, which is what can be recycled, what can't be recycled thing. And then I'm hoping that my students will come up with some other fun, interactive stations that will help educate the community on the importance of like the bees and the pollinators. I do have one student who is interested in creating a station just based on dandelions and how important they are. So that's just an example. So I will have students there. I don't know when you guys plan on setting up, if you're going to do anything Friday evening, but I can send out a sign up genius for kids to get community service hours to show up to help set up and do anything for Friday evening, Saturday morning, and be there for the entire day, because I have kids already saying, you know, where's the sign up? I need to sign
Right.
up. So
Yeah. So for those in the commission who don't know, this is my bad. Cindy has historically worked with the commission on our Earth Day event, which is currently scheduled for April 20th, 2024. And so the reason, she's up here speaking is because of that historic partnership. I wanted to make sure that, she could kind of let us know what she was planning to do with her kids or her students.
if you let me, if you want me, you can tell me.
Yes.
Like,
And so ultimately, that is our decision, but I was hoping, we as a commission, when it gets down to, some new business, we could kind of, formally approve that, we could partner with Cindy and, Twinsburg Environmental Club on this, and so that they could be invited to take part on this, because it is that historic partnership.
And I don't want to duplicate anything that you guys are planning to do
Right.
too, so that I'm aware of that.
And so last meeting, we kind of brainstormed a couple things. We talked about a, park cleanup or even just a trail walk sort of prior to the event, which is running from 10 to 2 p.m. And then we discussed kind of a scavenger hunt. There were a couple of other ideas.
Not a scavenger, I have.
You have stuff?
Things set up
Okay.
for little kids to go, and we had prizes
Okay.
when they would return.
Okay.
Checked off
Perfect.
See?
that too, so.
This is a historic partnership. It's
Yeah.
fantastic for us. And so those were kind of the ideas that we really discussed and I thought were really fantastic. There might have been others that I just forgot to write down or type out this morning.
The other team thing also is Maggie Chernick, who's an English teacher. She has poems, and Victoria Putnam from the Liberty Park has reached out to her. We print those out and they put them as a poem walk down the sidewalks towards to the pavilion into the nature center too. So we're working on figuring out who's going to be printing those and get those put up for that day also. So,
What are they
That's
about?
nice.
nature and the environment. So
Who
they're-
wrote, the kids wrote them?
Yes, all the high school kids wrote them.
Nice.
They put them up last year. We've done
Yes.
that 3 or 4 years now with
Mhm.
poems.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So I love the ideas. I love the invasive or not, flip card activity. I think that's going to be really cool.
Is there any way you need us to interact with your events? Or should we let you do your thing and we'll do ours, or?
I cannot think of anything right now, but if I
Okay.
do, I can let you know.
And so again, historically, how this has worked is, they've planned amazing station activities, and we typically run 1 or 2 other activities, with that. And it's kind of the Earth Day event for Twinsburg.
And I know, I talked to Tinkers Creek Watershed. They're gonna be in Hudson on that day at this
Okay.
time, so. But they told me that they would be willing to give me their information and have one of my kids man their table.
I think that would be,
So we're gonna train them for the Tinkers Creek Watershed table.
Okay.
So I have that also.
You want some seeds? You want some seeds?
Oh,
I got these and I'm not going to be planting them, so you're welcome to them.
we just made seed bombs
Yeah.
for one of the groups at school to give away as thank yous for something too, so.
Thanks.
I am constantly there. Because I was thinking we could even do that, because I could just take bucket the recycled paper pulp and make seed bombs with recycled paper too. That's another idea.
What are seed bombs?
So I take recycled paper and I cut it up and you soak it in water, and then I put it in the blender and blend it and turn it back into pulp. And then what I do is I take embroidery screens, and then you
Gave out like one per family. That would go a long way. I think usually close to 100 families or so.
They
Usually
grow in the
close to
pulp.
what-
It's
what shows up
basically,
at that.
the seeds get put in the pulp.
Especially if
and then
council is
you
looking
make
at
a
putting
whole
in
piece
some
of
kind of
paper,
legislation, it would be nice
and
to.
you add your-
It's too big.
What kind of seeds do you normally use?
Those I use wildflower seeds.
That'd be nice.
Like a mix?
I have not, thought milkweed seeds would be fun, but I don't know how well they would do in that. But usually purple coneflower is one, and butterfly weed is typically the ones that I have the kids do. I do it around Mother's Day, so that all the kids take it home and give their mom a present.
Nice.
And then I also have them planting good plants too,
Yeah.
so.
Good.
yeah.
awesome.
Let's see.
Are there any other questions we have at this time on this? For formality's sake, we will have, as a commission, we'll have to kind of officially approve this partnership because it's, our event, all of that, but we'll need you to officially approve that in 2 agenda items. But again, it's that historic partnership. And that's why I really asked Cindy to come and speak with all of us to let us know what has been planned, what could be done, and all of that. Okay?
I mean, if you guys only want 4 stations, 5 stations, or unlimited stations, I know last year it was kind of a very last minute thing that was thrown together, and it was very cold that day.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year we'll have better weather.
We're hoping.
Yeah. Cross your fingers. Here you go. Take those. You'll have more use for them.
All right. So any other questions on that? Okay. So then we're going to go ahead and move into commissioners' reports. So again, the reason I asked Cindy to speak during that time was that sort of, jumpstarts some of our conversations that undoubtedly we'll have. And then as we move into, further on the agenda, we'll need that formal, approval. And so I figured it'd be great to give us that background as we, as I will mention that event again. Okay. Michael, we're going to go ahead and start down with you with your commissioner report.
Okay, I just have one quick thing. I did get a flyer in my water bill, and a lot of people have probably seen this, but the Cleveland Water Open House is going to be Sunday, May 11th, and that's at the Garrett Morgan Water Treatment Plant on West 45th in Cleveland. And it's essentially, we as a commission had the opportunity to tour the Twinsburg Water Treatment Plant, and it was I thought it was very informational, very educational. And this one obviously is on a bigger scale and is open to the public. Information is at clevelandwater.com, and online registration opens on March 11th, which is next week. So I think it would be a great opportunity if anyone's interested to see, we have a lot of people that do a lot of hard work 24/7, 365 to provide us with clean drinking water, and it's just good to see the efforts that they put in, and what goes into the big mysterious buildings that you see where it's like stuff comes in and clean water comes out. So it's a good educational process. But that's all I have, though.
Awesome. Thank you. Virginia?
I turned. Okay, so again, just Saturday, March 16th, Twinsburg Garden Club is having a seed starting presentation at the Twinsburg Library at 11 a.m., and that is going to be put on by Alyssa Mills from Tinkers Creek Watershed Partners. And then this is the first year we're doing a free seed library at the Friends Shop. There's going to be, I think, 42 different types of seeds. Some were native seeds that were contributed by our members. Others were things that we purchased. Open pollinated, non-GMO fruits, or not fruits, vegetables and other flowers. So it's kind of like the old-fashioned card catalog. There's going to be drawers with seeds in there, and it's starting the first day of spring, which is, I don't know the exact date, I don't remember, but it's in March.
Spring's always the 21st of March.
March 21st, okay, well, that's when it starts. And so there'll be more information on our website, but it's right inside the door at the seeds. There's already a poster up there, too, so hopefully people can take advantage of that as well.
Very cool. Shantanu?
I don't have anything, so.
All right. Sue?
Okay, so before I get into my tree speech, I observed that you can take a milk jug, the gallon, cut it in half, put the starter soil in there, put seeds in there, tape it back together with like painter's tape, something easy to remove. It makes a little greenhouse. So I'm saving I had another package of seeds, butterfly, attracting wildflower seeds. I'm gonna try that and see if, I have any success. And then if you get a lot of plants, you can plant them and free, So that kind of intrigued me. I don't know, because I've never heard it or tried it, but I can imagine how it would make a little greenhouse, Maybe we could, do something like that at the Earth Day thing. I'll try and get it going. Okay, so what I really just wanted to talk about is I'm a member of the Arbor Day Foundation, and I really love trees. I think that, well, as this says, is the trees we plant benefit the whole world. They give us shelter, shade, comfort, joy, beauty, and relief from the concrete jungle. They trap dust, diminish smog, and reduce traffic noise. They produce oxygen and moderate the temperature. They provide a home for wildlife. And by removing carbon dioxide from the air, trees help fight the threat of global climate change. I can't say enough good things about trees. I've always loved trees. When I moved, I made sure that I have woods in back of where I live now. And if any of us want to order anything from this book, there's trees, bushes, you name it, it's in here. They will send a free maple tree, 3 to 4 foot, a red maple, and I thought we could maybe plant that wherever we think is a good place. I'm willing to put in an order. Anyway, that's my speech about trees. If anybody's interested in knowing more or wanting to purchase anything or look at what's available and the cost, just see me after. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so with mine, I just really had the run through of dates. One being kind of the Earth Day event. I want to remind you guys, it is scheduled for April 20th, 2024, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Liberty Park Nature Center. We'll be doing setup, prior to that on that Saturday. So we're not going to set up Friday beforehand. It'll be on that Saturday. But it'll be at that Liberty Park Nature Center. I'm kind of working through kind of a, park cleanup idea, how that would work best. And then if we approve, partnering with Cindy and the high school's environmental club, they might have a scavenger hunt already, which would take some burden off of, us trying to plan one. But I really think it's important that we all try to be there. We try to bring, or encourage one or two other people to come and visit that event. We had 38-ish people, give or take a couple last year, come, even though it was freezing, raining. So I'd love to see the attendance a little bit more this year. That really starts with us encouraging that. Okay. Second thing, our shred day is scheduled or tentatively scheduled for June 8th. Pat, I'm going to pass it over to you really quick. Is that date confirmed officially?
Service was able to confirm that that date works for them. I have not heard back. I asked them if they could schedule that with the shred company, and I have not heard back confirmation that they were able to schedule with the shred company yet.
Okay. So the date works with service,
Yes,
but it's
works
not
with the
scheduled
service
yet.
department. They can have staff there. I just haven't gotten confirmation back that they scheduled it with the shred company.
Okay, perfect.
Where would that be held? Where would people take their shred?
At the Public Works Department is where they typically hold that.
Okay.
Okay. And so, thank you, Pat. Next, we have that Waste Management Recycling Center tour. We got an email, essentially asking us which dates would work best for us as a commission to attend this. It's the new recycling center in Oakwood. Would it be, which dates would work best for us as a commission? I can't decide that alone, and so, here's where we have to decide. The dates given to us were April 8th, April 9th, or really April 15th through the 19th, I believe. And we had 2 time slots for all of those days, 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. And so April 9th, is the day that works best for me at 2 p.m. But I know that may not work best for everybody else. I know, Virginia, you said April 19th, I think, works best for you. Mm-hmm. And so are there any days, and you might have to pull your calendars up on your phones really quick.
April 8th is that solar,
Eclipse.
Oh, it is that solar
Yes.
eclipse, yeah.
so there's going to be a lot of traffic.
There will
Not
be,
doing it then.
That day.
yeah.
The next week, I think, is better, the 15th to the 18th,
The 19th, yeah.
whatever. I can't do the 15th or the 16th, but I can do the 18th or the 19th.
Okay.
Either time, but I prefer afternoon, but either time.
Okay. And so, Virginia, you said 19th worked for you?
Or the afternoon of the 18th, if that
Okay.
works for everybody else.
Yeah, those would work.
Does the 19th work for you, Michael?
Yeah, I'm wide open on that day.
Okay.
I can make that happen.
Would the 19th work for you as well?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Would the 2 p.m. time be best in the afternoon? I won't be available that day, so I will not be able to get off work during that time. So Virginia will be there, you guys will be there, take plenty of pictures, grab all that information, you'll bring it back here, and I'd love to hear about it. I think it's more important that we have more of us go than just a couple of us.
You're going to let us know where it's located? and
Yes, yeah, and it's going to be that new recycling center in Oakwood. I'll make sure I send you guys the information, but April 19th at 2 p.m. And I think if most of you guys could attend, I think that's probably the best for us. And then my final sort of date update, the wastewater treatment plant tour, it is scheduled right now for August 7th. There's just no time for it. Last year we did it in the morning. I think it was around 9 or 10 a.m. Did we want to keep roughly the same time? Or did we want to see if we could do something a little later and work with Nate over at wastewater and get something later?
Yeah, Nate offered that he'd be willing to do something whenever you guys were available, whether you wanted to do it during the day or an evening tour, if that works better for your work schedules.
Does that work better for you, Jana?
I'm a teacher, and so I have summers
August,
off.
that's
So
right.
August, I'm still off.
Okay.
I went last year, so I probably won't go, so it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Do you guys have any preference on morning,
With enough lead
afternoon?
time, I can make anything work.
Okay. Would morning work for you guys? So like 10-ish a.m., 9-ish a.m., whenever Nate could fit us in? Is there a preference between 9 or 10 a.m.?
Not really.
No.
Are we okay with just allowing Nate as a commission, or Nate as a director to pick what time works best for him?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'll, Pat, we could have him,
Yeah, I can coordinate that
9-ish
for you.
a.m., whatever
I'll
works
send
best
out
for him.
an email to your group with what time works for him.
awesome, thank you. And then my final sort of thing right here, I want to start sort of ward or park cleanups in the city. I think it'd be really cool if we did this. Not that Twinsburg is by any means, overrun with litter or garbage, but, it's always a nice way to build community. Even just get out and take a nice walk. And so I want to kind of start ward or park cleanups. And I'd love to make these sort of semi-regular things that, either a couple of commissioners do or we as a whole commission do. But the reason I kind of thought of this is because, for one, I do this on my own when I take my walks through my city or my street. But also because we've gotten plenty of requests from residents to help volunteer within the commission. I've had a couple requests. Is there any way we could volunteer at some of your events? Or is there any way we could help the commission out? And I think this would be a great thing that we could do. We could say, yes, we're doing a walk or a cleanup on this day through, this park. Feel free to stop by.
How are you going to get the word out?
So I think one of the great ways is we could use our Environmental Commission Facebook page. We could utilize the community's Facebook pages because we don't need thousands of people there. And I think if we do these semi-regularly, people would eventually, enjoy coming to them if this is something they're interested in. Or, we'll start to see a cycle of new people come through
Would
time
it
and
be
time
like,
again.
bring your own bag or?
So there's a couple different ways we could do this. Yeah, we could have a bring your own bag.
Not plastic.
Right, not plastic, unless you're trying to.
Bags, I think,
Right.
are okay, aren't they?
What's that?
Aren't garbage bags okay to be plastic?
Yeah, I mean, garbage bags, are okay to be plastic, but, it could be a bring your own bag thing, or, I could get some for us the first time we do this. I have no problem getting a whole bunch of bags.
How about one of those picks for people?
Like a nice little pick. Yeah, I mean, even one of those would be helpful. I could go grab a couple of those.
The commission used to have some in the past. They may still be down in the basement in the building here. I know when I was on the commission before, we did have a few of the grabbers.
Oh,
that-
okay.
And we had the community cleanup day, and they were more like around either parks or certain areas. It was like one day,
Yeah.
though not multiple days. And I think the idea of multiple is good because it fits in people's schedules
Right.
better.
And it's less, I don't know, if it's one day, you're feeling obligated to go. If it's multiple days, if you miss one, it's okay.
Right.
If you want to partner up with me, I do the Tinkers Creek cleanup with kayaks prior to the Rotary Run. Also, the students. So that's something we could.
Okay. Yeah, that could definitely be a further conversation. Thank you, Cindy. So that was kind of my idea. Are there any kind of other questions or comments on that? Because I was thinking of a date and a place already kind of in mind, mainly because, again, as a teacher, I have a spring break, and I was looking, what do I fill this with? I was thinking of going out to Center Valley Park on March 23rd, starting at like 11 a.m. So it's not too early, it's not too late. But at 11 a.m., just kind of taking a nice little walk through Center Valley Park and, cleaning it up.
Where is that?
That is, right next to, and I'm,
Behind Dodge.
blanking on it. It's right behind Dodge. Just blanking on the street name. It's like 5 minutes away from my house, which is the reason I'm starting there. And so, it's right 5 minutes away from my house, but I'd love to spread out throughout the city. It's one of the few parks I haven't been through. And so I want to actually go take a walk through Center Valley. My wife runs through there all the time, but I have yet to go through.
It is fairly pretty clean. The most thing you're going to find are dog food bags that people eat.
And I like I said, Twinsburg is very clean already. It's not like I'm expecting to find bags and bags of rubbish. But anything we could pick up, I find is a win. And even if it's just a couple people going out, that's just a nice positive right there. And so I'll be there 11 a.m. Center Valley Park. I'll hang out for a couple minutes, wait to see if anybody comes, and that'll be on March 23rd, and you guys are welcome to join me.
Another thing you can think about doing, like this time of year, storm drain cleanups. There are so many storm drains that are just packed for the winter, and the snow plowing and stuff, to encourage people to like go out and clear that out and make sure stuff is not going down because it goes straight into Tinker Street.
Perfect.
I think we had talked a while ago about kind of like doing something on your own street. Like if they couldn't
Yes.
come to the March 23rd, that I could do that, the weekend before or whatever. Maybe have some sort of a campaign or whatever that, adopt your own street. And like Cindy said, the storm drain, I think a lot of people don't think about that. They think it just, maybe I should push it down or something, but no, you should not.
Yeah.
That's-
I do a snow melt cleanup with my students and give them community service hours. I have a Google form that they take a picture, they go through for their name and they have to submit a picture of the timestamp that they started. They have to send a picture of me with their garbage bags and tell me where they cleaned up in the town. So I do have students that will do this in their neighborhoods at their houses, where they live too.
That's nice.
Virginia, I think a campaign's a great idea. People could post it, they could, tag or put a hashtag like Twinsburg Environmental.
Encourage them that, we'll do a drawing, whoever submits, it's a prize or something.
Right, and even just, the idea
gets the
of
most
community
likes.
camaraderie. Yeah, and so, hashtag Twinsburg Environmental, you could start tagging stuff like that. I think it really starts with us as a commission though, right? We need to inspire our friends, our family, our neighbors. And so, I've already adopted my street. Whenever I walk, I already do this. I'm sure all of us, do. So, it starts with us kind of posting about it, spreading that awareness, and we'll start the campaign ourselves kind of organically. Okay? And that's it with my report. It was really just those event updates and my kind of ward or city cleanup idea. Okay?
I just realized that we're going to tour the recycling plant April 19th, and then April 20th, we'll have Earth Day. So we'll be.
Yeah, it'll be a busy kind of 2 days.
Yeah.
Was there any other business for commissioner reports? Okay. Council report, Councilwoman Lobby, do you have anything?
I don't have anything, no.
Perfect. Next, we move on to unfinished business, new business, and miscellaneous. Starting with our tabled, business, that bag or shopping bag waste reduction proposal that was tabled at the last meeting. And so what I'd like to do, we heard from, Mitch as he gave more information on it, and we've now had time to kind of read through it. I'd like to open the floor, for the commissioners up for discussion at this time on the shopping bag waste reduction proposal.
I can't contribute because I don't have the information.
Okay.
I couldn't, my printer didn't work and we didn't have it last time. It wasn't sent to me last time in my email, so I'm sorry, but I don't know all the ins and outs. I was here and I listened to it, so I guess I could maybe think of something about it, but I don't have anything with
No,
me.
I appreciate your honesty and that you didn't receive it, and so.
Okay.
Anybody else, or is there any further discussion on this?
So I'd seen one of the cities got sued by the Attorney General when they were trying to ban the bags.
Do we know what city? Off the top of your- Not that I'm trying to quote you on a.
Did you say the Attorney General?
No.
Yeah, the Ohio AG, a city was trying to ban a bag earlier this year. I think, I should have written it down, I thought I remember. And, there was a lawsuit going around because they were, home laws allow a city to make their own rules. But the AG said that, came up with something. It didn't make sense to me, but I just, wanted to make sure we'd be aware if we go the ban way. I think that's why Cuyahoga County went with the not a less stricter for
Right.
So,
Are they still doing it in Cuyahoga County?
Yes, so Cuyahoga County,
Certain suburbs?
yes, they have a bag ban across the county, but there is an opt-out option because again, there is that home rule provision.
Yeah.
And so a city could essentially opt itself out of the bag
Are
ban.
more in or more out of it?
I don't have those numbers to tell you.
Do you know?
Yes, my dad just pulled it up on my phone. Can I go through it?
Yes.
Athens.
Yeah, I have Athens too.
Yeah, this was in Athens, which is
Athens, that was it.
in southern Ohio. So I'm gonna get a quote from. So that's interesting because from what I know about state preemption laws, this is new to me because during COVID, basically Ohio State passed a preemption law, but it only about single-use plastic bags, but it only affected taxes, which it basically said local jurisdictions cannot require retailers to place a fee or tax on a single-use bag, such as a paper bag or a plastic bag, but it didn't expressly prevent cities from prohibiting the distribution of single-use bags altogether. So this lawsuit is something new to me, so I'd have to look in, because it is Athens, but I'd have to see the specific ordinance.
yeah, it was Athens.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Thank you. That adds some clarity to the matter. I appreciate that.
Definitely keep that.
I think instead of just a straight up hard ban, I think more of a phase out would be a better approach. Partially because of, we are going to run into the home loss things, and partially because, there's a lot of baggage that comes along with this. Pun not intended there. And it was interesting that the gentleman did bring up the part about the hidden cost, because we want to approach this from an environmentally conscious position, but we also want to keep in fact that there are some hidden considerations, and we don't want to kind of do more damage in one area to save damage in the other. There's a widely publicized thing where the state of New Jersey implemented a ban on single-use plastic bags in 2022, and even though it did have a positive effect in the fact that single-use plastic bags going to the landfill, that was reduced by 60%, but statewide the overall consumption of plastic went up from 53 million pounds before to 151 million pounds after. Part of that is the fact that they were driving people to use alternative bags, and most of the alternative bags were made with non-woven polypropylene, which they unfortunately do have a higher carbon footprint. They use about 15 more times more plastic and generate 5 times the amount of greenhouse gas emissions during the production life cycle of the bag. Alternative bags they found were not widely recycled, and they don't contain post-consumer recyclable materials. Yes, they can be reused several times, but there have been studies that showed that, at least in New Jersey, 90% of new reusable bags were only used 2 or 3 times before they were either lost or thrown away. And I think the one statistic I saw said that a single reusable bag needs to be reused 16 times in order to have a positive impact on the environment. One of the biggest areas where people were running into this were grocery pickup and grocery delivery services, because if you go to the grocery store yourself, you bring your own bags. But if you use Instacart or another grocery delivery service, well, they're going to have to bag it for you. So they're going to have to use the reusable bags, so then you're going to get more of them. And they were interviewing people, and people were saying, I have hundreds of these bags now, and I don't know what to do with them, which is why they just end up back in the landfill, which is, and then it's less of an effect, but it did kind of pique my interest that there is a study in the Journal of Infectious Diseases that shows that reusable bags can harbor viruses and bacteria, because they did a study and showed that majority of the shoppers, and I'm guilty of this, you never really wash reusable bags. With a single-use bag, if you carry, raw chicken or something home in it and you get salmonella in it, you throw it away, you don't have to worry about it. But if you have reusable bags that you're using over and over again, it can be an issue. I did see a story where there was a soccer team that the entire team contracted novavirus because they traced it back to someone had used some reusable bags, left them in or near a bathroom, and then the entire team was down with novavirus, and it's not a good time. So I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea, but I think it would be better if we did, instead of a hard ban, like I said, a slow phase out, to where at the same time we could kind of monitor the progress, monitor the adoption, and if we could find some way to monitor not really the side effects, but the alternative cost that we're looking into this, because as the point was made, the bags do cost more. So are retailers saying that this is an issue for us? I mean, now in the New Jersey one, now granted this was New Jersey, it's a more populous state and it was statewide, but obviously the grocery stores were selling the bags. They sell them at a profit, and the average the cost analysis found that a typical store profited about $200,000 per location strictly from the sale of reusable bags. So, I mean, and again, stores have to make money. They have to keep the lights on. But that's why I think it would be in our best interest. It would be the most, I guess, environmentally sound way of doing this is to make it a slower process instead of a hard ban, so that we could see, is it cost effective? Is it being adopted at the rate that we would like to see it adopted? Does the general public think that this is a good idea, or are they, starting to rebel against it? And is it making a difference? I mean, if we could reduce the amount of single-use bags that go to a landfill, that's great. But if we do that at the cost of causing more plastic consumption and more greenhouse gases, is it really a net win?
Thank you, Michael. I like what you had to say about, net wins and looking at this from the big picture rather than just what we really, want to see. We all want the ideal world and the ideal environmentally conscious world. But again, you did mention, I think it was New Jersey you mentioned.
Yes.
You said a statewide ban.
Yes.
On this, and so you saw the plastic bag consumption go down.
Yes.
But overall plastic consumption grew.
Yeah, it was in 2022, and then they recently did a follow-up on it, and it showed that the number of plastic bags going to landfills went down 60%. But overall plastic consumption went up almost 3 times. It went up from 53 million pounds before the ban to 151 million pounds after the ban.
Now, is that because they were made out of more plastic?
Yeah, part of it was driven by the
Reusable
fact
bags
that, the reusable bags, they said, were made with non-woven polypropylene, which uses 15 times more plastic.
Aren't some of our mine are cloth-like? Is that the same thing? Mine are cloth-like.
No.
Because I can wash mine. I have washed mine in the washer on a gentle cycle, and I don't put them in the dryer, but they come out fine, but they're not plastic.
Yeah, the cloth ones, I think you get into the cost issue, because from a retailer perspective, they cost more than the polypropylene ones. So yes, they're more reusable. They are safer to wash, but again, everything has a trade-off. Like the old saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. Everything that you try to move in one direction, there's obviously a cost associated with it somewhere along the line.
Okay.
Could I have?
Right now, we're just kind of finishing up our discussion here.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Go for it.
I just found that it was, the reason they were able to sue was that Republican lawmakers put in something into the state budget saying person may use an auxiliary container for the purposes of commerce or otherwise. And so when you go ban it, it runs into a foul of a law,
It's violating supremacy, yes.
And so the home law and stuff, that's why, how Michael had suggested, like a soft, like more of an encouragement of people to go through that, so.
No, if it's in the state budget, you can't, counteract that. They have supremacy over, they allow home law, and home rule.
So.
At the very end of the article, it says the Cuyahoga County Department of Sustainability website states that the county opted to not issue fines, and that's the problem with the Bexley's policy.
Yes.
Is they
Fine.
fine that went with it. So Cuyahoga County says that they did not outlaw all of this. What they did is they had opted out of the county's ban on the basis of the home rules. So not all stores have opted out of using them, so they're given a choice instead
And
A
of
ban.
And it's a county-wide thing in Cuyahoga County, which is where I think the difference comes from. Again, there's that opt-out. I grew up in Cuyahoga County. I grew up and moved to Twinsburg 4 years ago at this time. And, I remember that plastic bag ban, that conversation. And I remember cities opting out, other cities saying we're going to, keep it. But that was a city choice, but there's no fines attached to it. And, it was more so an encouragement. And now with this, line items in the budget of the state, that makes it more tricky. To see something like this on a city level, again, we can't legislate, so it's out of our hands to begin with. We could make that recommendation, but I don't know how that would work realistically. You even talked about, Michael, about monitoring progress and adoption. That's what you'd need to do. You'd need to monitor progress and adoption of this. And I don't know if the city has the resources to monitor the progress and adoption of, a bag ban in the city. And I think this really falls to a county issue, a Summit County issue.
Yes.
I would agree.
And so, what was that?
I would agree with you that it was more of a county issue. I'm wondering, though, because, at the end of the day, it's education that, and it's because of you, Mitch, that we're all educated on this. So I was kind of sitting here wondering if you would like to participate in Earth Day, have a presentation there, and perhaps get reusable bags from, the major grocery stores in town, ask them for donations. I mean, ask them, okay.
I have a bag of 300 Target reusable bags that you can hand out.
So I think, that would be a great start for the city, if you could, start educating people and and perhaps, I don't know what the budget is for environmental. I know zero. Okay, zero. But I could still ask to see maybe if there's, maybe we could have a Twinsburg reusable bag. I don't know. I cannot promise anything. But, would you be interested in being a part of Earth Day?
So we are doing a kindergarten Earth Day project that I'm the president of the environmental club at my Aurora High School. So we're already doing an Earth Day project, but I'll have to talk with Ms. Watt about that because which is my teacher, I'm not entirely sure if I have to be there for the kindergarten Earth Day project because there will be a lot of other students who are volunteering, so I'm pretty sure I've already said that. But I'll definitely look into that because I would love to do something about this. Again, this is I've done a lot of proposals to different cities and it's never like a right away thing. It's not like we're gonna go out and do something right away.
Sure.
This is just the beginning. There's a lot of work that goes into it, really fleshing out everything, educating people in the community, and then building a consensus towards supporting the end result, which would be less single-use bags.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm thinking of. We start with the education.
Yes, and I totally agree with what Mr. Wong was saying about, gradually phasing it out because it's not going to happen overnight. There will be a lot of opposition.
I don't want you to miss the kindergartners are very important as
Right.
a teacher myself, don't miss that event.
Right.
But if Miss Kurt, if we do, agree to kind of partner with Twinsburg High School, and if she would be willing to kind of pass those out on your behalf, I think that'd be a great start too, because we could kind of, I'm sure she'd have a student that would be more than happy to educate everybody on it, and pass out those kind of reusable bags at our Earth Day event.
And I have 300 Target ones that I bought at the bin store that were like $10 they were getting rid of, and it's been sitting, just waiting for an opportunity.
Wow, that's a great opportunity.
And so it's sort of the stars aligning right there.
Right.
Yeah. That's what this is.
So,
So, and I'm the advisor to the environmental club at Twinsburg, so
Okay.
maybe you
Were there-
could join even a thing with our clubs.
See, I was just thinking about that and I'd love to talk to you afterwards because I was just thinking about this.
did we have any other conversation?
No.
Discussion
Hold on, is there
On that,
on that matter?
no, nothing more on that matter.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so either we table this for a, discussion next month, or we can do something with the proposal in front of us.
What's the proposal?
It's the plastic bag ban proposal in front of us itself, because it was sent to us by council as business. And so either we could table it for another discussion, or, we could move it back to council with sort of a recommendation.
One of the things that I could do at that station is have a vote from the people who come and just get an opinion based on the community members, just to get feedback,
Good idea.
a little questionnaire form. What, would you agree with banning bags? What's your thoughts? Just to get feedback from community members.
I saw something, actually, it was related to the Super Bowl, and they had these two big, like, plastic, maybe like those pretzel things, and you put your ball in, like, yes or no, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I recommend that we table it and get the rest of the commission's opinions too.
Okay.
The people that aren't here,
I would second Sue's motion to table this until next week's meeting.
next month.
Next month, sorry, it's a little frazzled up since 4. Is there any opposition to us tabling this until next month's meeting? No. This matter is tabled until the April meeting. And then we kind of have new business. I'm going to make a motion that we formally, as a commission, partner with Cindy Kurt and the Twinsburg High School Environmental Club for the Earth Day, Earth Day event, and allow the club and, Cindy to bring a variety of stations, activities that will, energize the event itself.
I'll second that.
Perfect.
At the risk of sounding silly or foolish, I don't know, where's the Public Works Department? Don't know exactly, I'm newer to Twinsburg, I don't know where everything is.
Right next to the wastewater treatment plant. So if you went on the wastewater treatment plant tour, it's right in the same area.
It's back to there?
Yep, right in there.
And the Earth Day event, Sue, is held at Liberty Park. And
Yeah,
so,
I know, I have a feel for where that is, but does the public come back there then? Do you get a good turnout having it, like, I thought it was at the library.
Yeah, they're usually lined up along the road all the way out to Ravenna Road when
Because I have some
when they
people
open up.
that are asking me, when is the next shredding day and where is it? So I need to be able to tell them.
Yep.
Where to
Okay.
go. Okay, thanks.
all right, so there's motion on the table to officially and formally partner with Twinsburg High School Environmental Club and allow the variety of stations, activities to take place to energize the event.
I
It was seconded by Michael. Was there any discussion on that?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. We should do it, so I don't know if we should, I don't know what else to discuss there. Is
Right.
a great?
No, I like I said, long-standing historic partnership between
Pray for
us
nice weather.
and the high school.
Yeah, pray for a nice one.
That's the.
And so, with that, is there any opposition to unanimously accepting this motion? Motion is unanimously accepted. And so with that, I don't think there's any other new business. Do we have any miscellaneous business that we need to discuss?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about your thoughts on the March 23rd, the Center Valley Park. And Patrick, you mentioned the bags, and I was just trying to think of what we had done in the past. And I think March 23rd, start small, but for future events, that the city provided bags and gloves, and then there was I'm not sure if there was a central point where the bags were taken or how that worked.
Yeah, in the past, when I was on the Environmental Commission, we had, the city had provided bags, the city had provided gloves, and if you pile them up in some centralized location, then the city would pick them up after the weekend, the next business day or so, and take them to the dumpsters here at City Public Works.
Okay.
Do we have to coordinate that before and let them know that's where we're going to be putting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, March, if you guys are set on that for March 23rd, I can see if
23rd, I
I can get a few supplies for you and just
11 a.m., yeah.
just wherever you guys is convenient for you. Ideally, somewhere along the, near the Dodge area is very close to Public Works, so it'd be very easy for them to pick it up there and get it over to
Absolutely.
their dumpsters.
There's a trash can right at the start of the trailhead there, and that's what we do over at Glenwood Park, is when we pull the kayaks out, we take all of our garbage, bag it up, and put it by one of the trash cans that they typically will empty at that park, and we just let them know that there's stuff there.
Yeah, that there'll be extra trash there when they come pick it up.
All right. Was there any other miscellaneous discussion?
Is March 23rd a Saturday?
It is a Saturday, yes.
Thank you. When you're retired, you know, the days just.
All right. Seeing no other miscellaneous discussion, I would make a motion to excuse our absent members, Sandra and Alyssa. Is there a second?
And Lynn,
And Lynn, yes, thank you, Virginia. And Lynn, is there a second?
I'll second.
Virginia seconds. All those in favor of excusing Sandra, Alyssa, and Lynn, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. And absent members are excused. Our next meeting date is April 2nd, 2024 at 7 PM here in City Council chambers. And with that, we move on to adjournment. Is there any opposition to adjourning the meeting?
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
second
Second. I yield. Michael seconds. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. We are adjourned at 7:56 PM.